Welcome back to N.Rajini Kiranmai YouTube channel. This video is going to highlight about the process of data science. When you look at the process of the data science, there are different phases that is involved to complete the process of a data science. So initially, the data scientist is going to approach the people and the company people are going to request before him, and that request is an ambiguous request. So the data scientist has to start from the beginning to do the process. And the first step that involves in that process of data science is frame the problem. That means he has been given with the ambiguous request, and he has to translate that request into a well-defined and concrete problem. So the first step that involves in the process of the data science was framing the problem. So ambiguous request is translated into a well-defined concrete problem. Moving to the second step in the process is he has to collect the data. So initially with the resources like infrastructure, time and money, all these information he is needed to get the data from the people by asking some queries, and he converts this information or the data that he has gathered from the people into a usable form. So the collecting data involves getting the data from the people. After getting that data, he is going to convert that data into a usable form. So this is the second step involved in the process of the data science. Let us move to the third step, that is process data. So to process the data scientist has to clean the data and should change that data into a form such that it is easy for him to analyze that data. So the processing of data involves changing that data by cleaning it and converting into a transforming the data into a form on which analysis can be performed very easily. Fourth point is explore the data. Here the data scientist has to get the high level of understanding of information that is hidden in the data. That means he has to explore that data. To do so, he uses different methods like correlation, trends, class characterization and discrimination, etc. Such methods he is going to use in order to explore the data and find out the data that is hidden within it. Moving to the fifth step in the process of the data science is in-depth analysis. So the data scientist will use different machinery in order to analyze the data in depth and find out the best predictions and insights that is there within the data. Finally, in the last step, he is going to communicate that result, what all he has done to find out those work. And finally, after finding out that insights or predictions or the knowledge, he is going to communicate that content to the end user. So this is the steps that are involved in the process of the data science. So the same content can also be presented as the life cycle of the data science project. If you are given with a project and what all the phases that are involved to complete that particular project is represented in 6 steps. We can also call this one as a process of the data science. In the first step, the data scientist is going to do the discovery. Then in the second step, he does a data preparation work. In the third step, he is going to model planning. And then fourth step, he does a model building. And in the fifth step, he is going to operationalize that content. And then in the sixth step, he is going to communicate the result. So this is the pictorial representation of the data life cycle of the data science project. Now let me explain about each phase. So as we have presented, the discovery is the first phase. So what he is going to do in this phase is he uses the right questions to determine all the requirements, and then he is going to frame the business problem. That means he is going to communicate with the people, technology, time, data, and the end goal, and he is going to use different questions in order to find out the content or the data from the people, basic requirements, what is the priorities and what is the project budget. All these things he is going to determine by asking the questions. After getting that content, he is going to frame the business problem. Moving to the second phase, that is data preparation. We can also call this one as data munging. That is a process of changing the data into another form. To do so, he is going to perform different actions on the data. That is, he does a data cleaning, data redaction, data integration, and data transformation. After performing all the above tasks, we can easily use this data for the further processing. And in the third phase, he is going to do the model planning. That is, he is going to establish the, in this phase, he uses different methods and techniques in order to establish the relationship between the input variables, and different tools that he is going to use for model planning or SQL analysis services, or SAS, that is a statistical analysis system, Python. All these things he is going to use as a tools for model planning. By using these tools, methods and techniques involved in these tools, he is going to establish the relationship that is existing between the input variables. Moving to the fourth phase, that is model building. In this model building, what he is going to do is the data scientist first creates the data sets. He is going to prepare two different data sets, that is a training data set and testing data sets. So on the training data, he is going to analyze that data and he comes up with a model. And later, once he creates a model, he applies that model or techniques on the testing data. Like what all the techniques he uses means he uses association, classification, clustering, and all these things he is going to use and analyze the data and then build a model on the testing data. After building that model, he uses this model on the testing data. So he uses the training data to analyze the content. After analyzing, he constructs a model. After constructing the model, he applies that model on the testing data. And what are the different model building tools that he is going to use is SAS Enterprise Miner, Veka tool, and MATLAB, Python, C, PSPS, modulars. These are all the different tools that the data scientist is going to use for model building. Moving to the fifth phase, that is operationalize. In this phase, he is going to have a clear overview of the complete project performance and other components on a small scale. And in this phase, he will deliver the final report of the project along with its code and the technical documents, briefings, all these things. And finally, in the last phase, he is going to communicate the findings, or we can say the final result, with the business team or the end user. So thank you for watching this video.